welcome to episode 1 of Under Fire. We finally made it. This is technically our second run through of this.
Yeah.
The first one went a little bit wrong, but hopefully you're watching this version, attempt 2. So this is episode 1, and we're titling this episode, Who the Hell Are These Guys? Which is probably what you're thinking right now. So hopefully we'll answer that question. Quick overview of what we're going to go over in this particular show. It'll be slightly different to our usual show just because it's an introductory episode. So we're going to go over who we are,
yeah,
introduce ourselves at some point,
yeah,
how we got into the hobby and the armies we collect. Then we're going to talk a little bit about a narrative campaign that we're going to be running that will run as a bit of a backbone to the podcast. We'll then talk a little bit about future shows and how they'll be a little bit more structured compared to this one. Then a little bit of a teary-eyed, inspirational people in the hobby that have inspired us.
Yeah.
We'll all get a little bit weepy over that. And then we'll talk about some future hobby goals, dream projects, things you could do if you had £1,000 million in the bank
and all the
no
time,
restriction, all the time in the world, no job.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into it. So I'm Sam, and I'm here with the only man I would let touch my dice. It's Sam.
I'm also Sam.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
We finally made it. And
We finally made it.
Looks semi-pro.
It looks semi-professional. We've created the impression of being professional whilst
that we've never done this.
sounding completely unprofessional.
Yeah. So basically, we talk a lot of crap.
Yeah. Put it lightly. Let's film it.
We're going to film it, and then everyone else can see.
Hopefully they find it interesting enough to half listen to while they're painting. Pay very little attention to it.
Please watch it again. Please come.
So let's go straight into the armies we collect and how we actually got into the hobby of Warhammer.
Yeah.
I'll start with this because my story of how I got into it, I was patient 0.
Yes.
And that led to you being infected by the plastic addiction.
Yeah. I mean, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But gone.
So, at the age of about 10, there was a boy at school who mentioned this thing called Warhammer, and I had no idea what it was, but it sounded cool.
Yeah.
He collected Space Marines. He suggested that I collect Blood Angels, which at the time I thought was a selection of winged holy angels, and I remember thinking, no, I don't want that. I want these cool super soldiers that you just showed me a load of pictures of. I think he brought in the Codex.
Right.
The old thin Space Marine Codex. Third edition, probably, with the Crimson Fist on the front.
Yeah.
I remember flicking through it and being like, well, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I bugged my parents until I was taken to a games workshop. I don't even know where it was. And I bought one bike for £5. Opened it up and realised that it wasn't built or painted. Because the person that introduced me to this didn't specify. Never felt to say, by the way, you have to build these things. They don't come looking this cool.
No.
But I actually I don't know, it added something to it when I sort of thought about it. I was like, I get to paint these.
Yeah.
So I then bought the 3rd edition starter set.
Yeah.
Which came out, I believe, in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Templars on the front. This was before Ultramarines were the poster boys. It was still Space Marines, but it was Black Templars, and it came with 10 Tactical Marines, a Land Speeder, 20 Cavalite Warriors, the old Cavalite Warriors, with the hair, and some terrain and the rule book for £50.
£50.
Which, actually, to go completely off topic, shows what a good deal Indomitus is.
Oh yeah, no.
When you think that, yes, it's twice the price, but the amount you get.
Yeah. And we're talking 20 years ago. So
20 years ago.
50 quid is, in relative
So actually,
to that, is actually probably, I think Indomitus, I don't think good enough, but Indomitus, I think it is a good deal.
It's a crap deal. I don't think anyone says it's a bad deal, but I didn't quite realise what a good deal it was until I went, well, my start set was 50 quid.
Yeah.
And I got 21 models.
Yeah.
Indomitus has got, I don't know, it must be 60.
I mean, I bought one, but it's not.
Not arrived.
Not arrived.
Wave 2.
That was the most stressful 45 minutes.
I'm so glad I wasn't involved in it anyway.
Well, the problem was I was so brisk, so blasé about it. I was like, yeah, there's only limited. They're saying limited.
Yeah.
I was like, not in a chance in hell. There's not. You're not going to get one. And then I was like, I was basically everything was crashing. So I was like, I'll keep it half hour.
Yeah.
And there we are.
But you got one.
I got one.
That's important thing. You got away.
I got one.
So I took my £50 box set back home, built all the Space Marines, took the Dark Elder on side, I went, bleh, don't want anything to do with them.
Yeah.
And painted them that night with non-Warhammer paints.
Oh.
And
So it just been.
yeah, it was just my dad just had some paint knocking.
Yeah.
Something like that. Came up with my own chapter.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what they were called, to be honest with you.
Red armour with yellow trim.
Yeah, the two hardest colours to paint, red and yellow. I decided they were the way to go. With goblin green bases.
Always.
Some of the bright goblin green bases.
That was the only way to base.
It was the only way to base.
That was the only way to base.
Bright neon green grass.
Yeah.
And then I genuinely don't remember what my next bit of one was.
Well,
No
I'll come in there.
clue. This is where you.
Because you got that box set, and then I had that you didn't want, which was the Dark Eldar, and that was my first army, the Dark Eldar, which I thought, once you explained a smidgen of what they were about, I was like, that's me.
Because you're an incredibly disturbed child.
I was very disturbed child, yes. No, I thought the artwork. I remember seeing the book, the codex that I got, which would have been, I don't even know if I got the 3rd edition codex. I would have thought I would have. That probably did. But the artwork was just quality inside them.
Well, I remember
really good.
the Dark Eldar Codex. It would have been their first codex because they came in. 3rd edition Star Set was their first ever.
Oh, that's when they
came.
Oh, sorry.
But I think it was the 2nd edition of the 3rd edition Codex. I think it had a stamp on it.
Yes, which I have.
Yeah.
Which I still have somewhere.
So it was their second Codex, but it was only minutely different.
Yeah. But just like the artwork, the characters, the
little
backstories, all the quotes. Oh god. What the quote? But they appealed to me at that point, and that started my journey into it because of you.
I just needed someone to play with.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
I needed an opponent.
But I started off with the Dark Eldar, which again painted red.
Yeah, you went red as well, didn't you? Yeah.
Goblin green base
with the stem.
The stem, any sort of
The stem of the flight stand was also bright green.
Yeah.
It didn't click in your mind.
It was I think the first thing I did that on was the Raider. I got a Raider for Christmas, and I just painted the Raider, and then I was like, well, the base needs to be green, and I think I got a bit on the stem, and I was like, therefore the stem's green, and then I sort of done it, and I was like, it's not the intention of the clear plastic stem there. That
it was
the illusion of flight.
And I think it's fair to say that both our armies look pretty.
I've still got some of the old models. They will. Hopefully, we can, if we get this sorted again, we'll
flash it up.
We'll put some pictures up and that on the next few episodes or something. The older stuff, but there's some humdingers.
Very unthinned paints.
Oh,
I remember learning, 15 years into the hobby that you should thin your paint.
Yeah. Don't get it straight out.
It's
not a good. It's not a good look.
So we played, me and you, and we had a couple of other friends that were into it. What was Liam playing at the time? With an Eldar?
I think Liam started with Eldar, as far as, Liam has always got the armies that
are the most frustrating to play against.
Yeah. I don't think he chased the meta or anything. We've never been competitive in that regard.
No.
I think it just happened. The things Liam gravitated towards are
overpowered.
Yeah. Well, Eldar were. I mean, they are still very good, but they I think for a long time, for a good couple of
6th edition.
Eldar were just.
When they were firing that shield.
Yeah.
That was a rough time.
Well, I mean, we've played. Together we have probably 6 proper
We've got
armies.
a good percentage, yeah.
I mean, we've both got Tyranids.
Yeah.
You've got Thousand Suns. I've got Death Guard.
Yeah.
And then we've got a Drakari-esque stuff each.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of other little bits now. You've
Yeah.
got some Eldar stuff, some Harlequins.
Yeah, I made a turn.
Yeah.
So I sold my Space Marines.
Yes. Yes, you did.
And
say,
I've turned away from the light of the Imperium.
Yeah.
Although I do have an Admech army, but they're questionable.
It's painted.
They're
Very
questionable.
dark mechanical.
Questionable. Yeah. Between us, we do have
We've got
a good spread of the army. I'm trying to think. Because Tom had Space Marines, Orcs.
Yeah.
So that covers them.
I said Liam's got Necrons, Tau. Liam's got Necrons, Tau, Eldar. I think we've probably, and Ryan's got some Admech.
Yeah.
So we've basically played most armies except a handful, a small handful.
Knights, Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
This is where every army just Sisters of Battle, but they've only really become
an
actual
really
army
had
in the
a
last
Sisters of Battle they did for like, the last couple of months. But
so let's go through the armies you collect. We'll start with you. Why you collect them, what you like about them.
Okay. I have.
So what would you consider your main army?
My main army at the minute, I would say, is my Death Guard.
Yeah.
And for reasons much the same as why I loved Dark Eldar, is they are just disturbed, disgusting,
freaks,
lovely things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something about Nurgle in general that's just they're so happy
to be infected,
to be doing what they're doing, and it's just fun. It's just fun.
I find Nurgle to be an interesting one because you can understand why someone would fall to Slanesh.
Yeah.
There's obvious
attractions
in that area. You can understand why someone would fall to Tzeentch because they're chasing the power.
Yeah.
You can understand why someone would fall to Khorne because they want to be the best fighter or they just got angry. Nurgle, I really fancy that disease. You know, there isn't that.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think
that's what makes it interesting.
It's sort of like Nurgle. It's like a very slow spread.
Yes.
Before you realise you're bathing in your own filth and you love it and you're not feeling no pain. There
is that sort of, you've become diseased and you just beg for a release from that pain.
Yeah, and that's I don't know.
And then Nurgle gives you the gift of eternal life and
I mean, Death Guard are just cool. They're just
the story of the Death Guard.
The story's really cool. Tyrion's cool. Typhon's cool. Typhus, it's cool. Just really cool.
And when the new models came out at the start of it, that was pretty.
And to be fair, that's when I started.
Yeah.
But I've always liked Nurgle.
Yeah.
If I've done small chaos bits in the past, and they've always been Nurgle-esque sort of stuff. But yeah, my armies then. So Death Guard, I'd say, is my main army.
Yeah.
I do now have. A lot of it is unpainted and still in boxes like this down here. Space Marines. Which is a custom chapter that I'm doing, which we'll go over later because that's going to be part of the narrative campaign. But they're the Void Hawks. I have Dark Eldar, an awful lot of Dark Eldar. I have an awful lot of Tyranids, which the majority of them are unpainted.
Yeah.
And then there's just smatterings of others. I've got a few bits of chaos
You've got
stuff.
Knights.
Knights, yes.
You always forget the
let's
Knights.
not forget the Knight in the room. Yes, I have 4 Knights.
And when we say you've got Knights, you don't just have a Knight.
No,
you've got a fully fledged Knight.
I went full hog when they came out and got 4 of them and 2 Hellfriends as well.
Yeah. So you.
I like Knights.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I like Knights, and then how powerful they were. That wasn't. That I didn't get them because of the power aspect.
We don't really play that sort of.
No, not competitive. Not.
We are. I wouldn't say we play particularly narratively.
No,
we're going to be doing.
We're going. Yes, we're going to.
But I think we haven't. It hasn't been like I'm not running this unit because it doesn't perform. I've always done my army list of this looks cool. I'm going to run this.
Yeah,
and no one can say that Knights don't look cool.
No. A Knight is awesome. The kits were awesome as well. Like the whole thing about them is really good. But yeah, that's basically me. That's most of my journey started because of you.
I apologise.
My lack of money because of you. I went ham quick. I usually always do it with that sort of stuff, but yeah,
it does happen. So I'll go through my armies, which I think are slightly less than yours, although probably not actually. So I consider my main army to be my 1,000 Suns. I think.
Yeah.
although it's shifting. It
Very
is
leechy.
shifting. It is shifting. Which again I got into at the start of 8th. We kind of had a reset at the start of 8th, I think,
Yeah, we've done
where we all sort of moved to
6th edition. We did play quite a lot, and I think over 7th.
7th got complex.
Yeah, 7th we sort of fell back a little
Yeah.
bit. We didn't do too much, so it was.
And then 8th
Eighth
came, and
kicked
we all
in.
kind of started newish armies
Yeah.
around that time. So I got into Thousand Suns. I'd love to say that I got into Thousand Suns because I really loved the backstory, but it wasn't that. I watched a painting tutorial by Duncan on how to paint rubric marines.
Oh, right.
I remember thinking they look cool, and I didn't know a lot about them actually.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that as I did the research into them, I was like, this story's amazing. You know, Magnus.
Yeah.
The tragic tale and stuff like that just gripped me.
Yeah.
Which worked out nicely. So I have a fairly sizable force of Thousand Suns, mainly helped on by the fact that I've got a knight,
You now have a night,
and
yeah.
I've got a Leviathan Dreadnought and Magnus, which in
Yeah.
itself is nearly 1,500
Yeah,
points.
that's a lot of points.
So a lot of it comes from that. But it's growing. I want to get some more things for it. At the minute, I'm focusing on my Dark Eldar for the narrative campaign, which will be my army.
Yeah.
I focused initially on the witch cult side of it, kind of by accident, because the start collecting box for Dark Eldar is witches, a succubus, a venom, some jet bites, and I've had 2 of them.
Yeah.
So well, this is the way it's going. Did make the error of deciding that I was going to paint the witch cult, the cabal, and the coven
All in.
in 3 separate paint schemes.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like to see them as 3 separate armies anyway, to be honest with you. And
Yeah.
they're making an
They've
alliance.
it's gonna be nice. They've got their own little flavour in each one. Yeah.
But it does mean that you're essentially collecting 3 armies. Because I'm not the sort of person that can go, well, I know this raid is painted like my cabal, but I'm going to run it with my witches. It'll just niggle at me. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I'll need to buy 3 times as many raiders, 3 times as many venoms. Luckily, a lot of the units don't actually cross over.
No.
The mercenaries and the transports are really the only ones that.
I always look at like the cabal having the raiders.
Yes.
The venoms are more.
Which is how I do it.
For the witches, and then. Homunculi stuff will
Foot
be
slogging.
foot slogging.
Yeah. It's
just have the Talos as
yeah
and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I have a Tyranid army that I've had for a very long time.
Yeah,
I've had it for ages, and I've not played it for
a long time. I mean, Tyranids have. I mean, now I don't know. I don't see how. I mean, there's big changes for 9th edition, but in 8th they didn't quite hit the mark with a lot of stuff. It was either had to sort of go one way.
The way I played Tyranids was many gaunts.
Yeah.
And the way you had to play Tyranids to be even remotely not get trounced was to run big.
Yeah.
A Nidzilla list, which
yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I just really like the idea of
lots.
And it's Hormagaunts as well. I don't do Termagants.
No.
I like claws.
Yeah. I like them.
I like claws. Which are worse than Termagants in every single way in terms of a game. So and it wasn't even that I'm not competitive. It was that I'm getting
trapped.
It's not even not even a fun game for either side because I'm just getting flattened. So I kind of put them away, and I might be selling them. I think I'm going to sell them. I don't.
I mean, the changes in 9th ain't going to help.
I don't see myself playing them again.
No.
And it's a lot of models have just sat there.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of attachment to them. Like I won that best painted award with them when we did that tournament and stuff like that. So I do have a bit of an emotional bond with them, but
you become part of the hard.
You just got to break that bond, haven't you?
Yeah. Cut them.
I might just burn them.
Well,
kerosene and just burn them.
Okay.
I also have Admech army.
Yeah.
The Dark Elder on the Admech army actually came from at Christmas. My girlfriend decided that she was going to pick an army for me, and that was going to be the army character. That was quite exciting. I gave her a list of no's.
Yeah.
Tau were at the top of my list.
Tau.
And in the first year she picked Dark Elder, which I was really happy about because I've always been one I looked at. And the second year she picked Admech, which I've also always been interested in. I really like their models, and but I've done them as a Dark Mechanicum type scheme.
Yeah.
Because I'm holding on to that coming out.
Yeah.
Even as a,
I think they should definitely.
even you could do it as a, the codex is the same, but you pick a Dark Mechanicum your faction, and you get because the actual units.
Imperial Knights, Chaos Knights, same.
It's exactly the same. The actual units aren't. There's nothing about them that screams Imperium.
No.
You could easily stick some spikes on them and they can
look a bit more.
So hopefully that happens, that would be good. And then I can fight them with 1,000.
True.
Should be quite cool.
True. Yeah, that would be cool.
Do I have any more armies? I got some, so you bought me some Harlequins to go with the Dark Eldar. I also have the Triumvirate Vineyard. Which are just beautiful models.
Yeah, they are good models. I mean, they're pushing. How old
are they? The end of 7.
The end of 7, so 4 years, 4 or 5 years, isn't it?
Is it?
2016 was 8th.
Oh, right, okay.
So it'd be 4 or 5 years, I'd say.
Yeah, but they look
cool.
They look
very good.
And so I'll do some Inari stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe, and at some point I will get some Eldar. It's happened.
It pains you to say
it. Happens. Games Workshop have been very clever in the Allies area.
Yeah.
And making it so that as a Space Marine player you can bring in other Imperium stuff, and as an Eldari player I can bring in because you just want to do it.
Yeah, you like the idea of it, yeah. I mean, if you're playing Inari style, you've got that nice little pick and choose of quite a lot of stuff.
Howling Banshees and stuff like
that. I'm glad you didn't start them at the start of 8th because they were kind of broke at the start of 8th.
Yeah, when they were shooting
down.
It's
just,
no, I would never do that. We are the opposite, actually. When you start collecting army, they tend to get really powerful.
Yes.
And when I start collecting army, they tend to go and just sort of drop off a little bit.
So we will let you know Sam's next decision in army choice, so you can
plan your tournaments accordingly.
You can eBay your lots now.
If there's anything you don't want me to collect, write a letter in now, but then attach £50, and I'll steer away from them.
Because I started the Space Marines pre 8th edition sort of second codex when Space Marines were bad, not bad, but they weren't points wise they weren't as good. And then it was the chapter master stuff that got me excited. It was like making your own chapter and going to be able to have the option of traits and stuff, and having a chapter master. I thought I'm going to do it, and then the second I did it, Space Marines just one of the best armies in the game.
If you'd have said I'm doing Iron Hands, I think I would have not played it. You at least didn't go.
I mean, I could play them as Iron Hands.
You could play them as Iron Hands, but you would never do that to us.
But yeah,
I think that sums us up as our history of the hobby.
Yes. I hope that was interesting for you. You don't know who we are still, but I hope that was interesting.
I think it's the most interesting thing about us.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing else interesting going on. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. We've done one tournament in our life that.
Oh yeah, I don't really like that story.
I went 2 for 2.
You did good. I just got. It was the second game when I was playing Chaos. I took Space Wolf.
We have a Space
Wolf.
I was a Space Wolf army.
I also have some Space Wolves, which
you have a huge Space.
I have a large Space Wolf collection. Yeah. That just.
I completely forgot that Space Wolves.
But that's what I played at the tournament, playing against Chaos, and it was just demoralising.
I remember the guy taking pity on you at one point.
It was giving me pointers mid-game, like what I should have done.
Yeah.
He was talking as in game done, game over, which it was, but yeah, bless him.
I went 2 for 2. However, I played one game against Liam, who was a common opponent, and on the same sort of level.
Yeah.
So that was easy. And the guy I played in the last game, I was a little bit. I didn't cheat.
Oh, is that with the drop pods? You had the drop. You just didn't know that was what
it was. Whoever had the most units on the opponent's side of the board at the end, not including vehicles. And I had Tyranid Mycetic Spores.
Yeah.
Which he assumed they were a vehicle.
Mm.
And I thought, in my head, one, it's a tournament, so I'm not really required to let him know.
Yeah.
But then the other side of it was he said to me before the game, he says, I've got a Tyranid army. So in my head I'm thinking, well, he knows they're not vehicles.
He must know what they are.
He knows that they're not vehicles. He must just be making poor decisions. So I thought, I'm not going to say, you need to destroy these, mate, or I'm going to win.
Yeah.
One, because I
wanted
at least 2 wins.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit cheesy, but
I mean, it's what it is, isn't it? If you're going to go to a tournament, you need to know your rules, and you need to know the armies.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like going to tournaments. I can't digest enough information about the game and the armies to actually be able to.
I do have some stuff to say about that in future hobby goals, but we'll come to that later on potentially. So what we'll do now is then we'll take a quick break and refill our drinks, and then when we come back we'll do an introduction to the narrative campaign that we're going to run. We'll go through the background of your army, my army, and the background of the story, and then we'll talk about the structure of future shows and what they can expect. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. We have stuffed ourselves with copious amounts of Chinese food. So
it was a mistake.
Yeah, the second part might not have the energy that the first part had, but
continuity of this area
suddenly put on £4.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to talk about the narrative campaign that's going to run alongside the podcast. So let's go straight into it. So let's introduce the armies that are going to be taking part. We haven't really come up with a title actually for the campaign itself.
No, we haven't.
But what I thought I would do is for next episode, hopefully by that point we've played 1 or 2 games. But I will write a page of fluff. Thing that'll set the scene for the first game. And that'll hopefully and I'll put a little title into that. So let's go through your Space Marines, who they are and how they sort of weave into this narrative campaign that we're going to be running with the Crusade system for 9th edition.
Okay. Well, just say just for my explanation, you're playing Drakari.
I played Dark Eldar.
Okay, so the Void Hawks are my Space Marine chapter, and they are basically sort of a Raven Guard-esque successor chapter. Don't have to necessarily be tied down to that, but they're sort of hit and run, fast, lightning fast operations. That's the sort of like the crust of the army, and how this narrative campaign is going to go is basically we're all good. It's the 41st millennium.
So
blah blah blah. The Drakari, alongside with
the
Ivrain, decided to steal, destroy, deactivate the sun of that solar system and those planets, the home world of the Void Hawks, and thus rendering the majority of that sort of solar system death worlds. So a lot of stuff changed. You basically wiped out half of the chapter and half of the planets, blah blah blah. Captured the other half, took them back to Commorragh
for delights.
Did your stuff, and then they hightailed out of Commorragh, or as you've said before,
were they let
out?
They escaped, or was it a Asdrubal Vet scheme?
A bigger plan
to let them out. How many roughly escaped?
Well,
is it a real small contingent?
I've always thought of it as being like 20 blokes. And they because the army that I'm making has got older Marines, traditional Marines, and some Primaris stuff. So a couple of the guys had to be made up to Primaris because of the injuries and because of that sort of stuff. And you've still got a lot of stuff from the old tactical Marines and stuff like that.
And you were going to paint in some sort of identifier on
the original blokes. The original Astartes that are
blokes,
possibly the ones that were taken to Commorragh and got out, which is going to include the chapter master, which I've already done quite a lot on and it's looking good. I like it. Basically, I'm going to put some sort of marking, some sort of identification to show that they were one of the ones that broke out of Commorragh and reinvigorated and
reformed the chapter.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So that's, from the Space Marine side, that is basically where we're at. You've so obviously they absolutely despise the Dark Eldar.
They're still Eldar of all forms.
Yes, they're still fighting on all fronts, but you guys have done that to the solar to their sort of system, so they are just after you.
Okay.
Basically.
So where the narrative campaign will take place then is after your 20 blokes just take camera. They've rebuilt a semblance of a chapter.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they get raid after raid after raid of Drukhari coming to the planet, and it's unusual for Drukhari to attack a planet more
continuously.
than,
The same.
They come in, they get what the slaves want, and they leave again. So it's an odd series of events. What it transpires from our point of view is that Yvraine is behind the scenes pushing people in the right direction, because there's still something on this planet that she wants that she didn't get the first time around.
Yeah.
So, and we don't know what that is yet.
No.
And hopefully it'll evolve.
I have no clue what he's on about.
And so I was starting with mostly witch cult. It will be the cult of the toxic embrace, is the name that I've settled on. And then as the campaign that this witch cult will take part on builds momentum and gets a bit more famous in Conroe, they'll attract the attention of a coven of homunculus. I think this is a good opportunity to get some Primaris to cut up and...
Or, very foolishly, come into...
Well, yeah, there is that. And then the Cabal, it'll attract the attention of an Archon who wants in, and eventually...
it's going to be a big party.
There'll be a big party, and eventually we'll get the Yvraine in there.
Yeah.
I really want to do a sort of mission where the Yvraine has come to the planet and she's attempting to summon the Incarn.
All right, yeah.
And you've got a chance to stop that.
You've got to stop them from doing
There is a, I think from the Side of the Awakening, Thousand Suns one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called now, which is bad.
Ritual of the Damned.
Ritual of the Damned, that's the one. The mission in that is Magnus is trying to do a ritual, and the Grey Knights and the Dark Angels have got to stop him from doing that. So we could use that mission
and
change it a little bit.
Yeah,
If Raine's in the middle, just
that's
trying to
cool.
summon. And then if it does go off,
yeah,
I get the Incarn for
that's cool.
the next mission, and if so
That's cool.
that's the way we're going to sort of play. We are going to use the conquest system,
Which I'm excited about. Which isn't in this book.
No, that's the old.
This is the old book. But like I said earlier, I haven't got my Indomitus.
I have the new book. I didn't bring it, but
I'm just waiting.
So we're going to start off small, slowly build it. I think we're going to try and say fully painted only. I think keep it fully painted only. You've got.
Oh no, I'll be good.
We've got a lot of paint
Yeah,
space.
it's going to be fully painted, 100%.
And we'll take pictures, and if we work out to do it, we might do some.
Maybe do
film,
some little videos. I think for the Instagram, maybe do some of the pictures and do a report that you can scroll through, and you get a flavour for it and stuff like that. But then we'll obviously go over them in this.
Yeah. So what I'll do is, the first game I'll write a bit of an introduction. We'll play that game. Depending on the outcome of that game, we'll determine where the story goes, and we'll just sort of try and filter it as it goes along. The conquest system I'm excited for.
Oh god, yeah. I want as many injuries on my chapter master as physically possible.
I think you can. The max you can have is 6
injuries
because there's 6 things on the table.
So you could have.
You can't have the same table.
Same thing twice. Yeah.
But you could be literally one leg. Chest wound, one eye.
Yeah.
And just limping along and still
kicking ass.
And then after that, you lose experience.
Oh right.
So you can start to
dwindle.
Deteriorate into.
Oh, that'd be cool. You could start them going a little bit crazy or something.
Starts losing.
Falling to something.
No.
I've just finished False Gods.
you've got it.
Spoilers if you haven't watched it. If you haven't read it, sorry.
So it should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
We'll run it until it sort of reaches a logical conclusion, and then
me winning.
Oh yeah, I don't know what winning is. I suppose not really deciding what
True.
winning relates to, but yeah, it'll be good.
Redemption. That's what it needs to be. Nice little.
It should be an interesting story of revenge, hatred. It's very 40k.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm just going to take a load of slaves and
do what you do.
Do what Dark Eldar do to them. So it should be interesting. Good. So anything else to add on that?
No, I think that is for the time. So when we get into it and we can document it better.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's good for that.
So let's go through now the structure that the podcast is going to have. And I say the word structure very loosely because the first section of this was meant to be 10 minutes and it rounded out.
We waffled
at about 25. Yeah. So it will be a very loose structure.
Yeah.
But I think I want to just lay it out. so we have something to be held to when we don't follow that structure.
We will try and keep the waffle down
To a
as
minimum.
much.
And that's all the comments are, more waffle.
More waffle.
Yeah. More waffle, less content.
More.
The content's poor, but your waffle is top drawer. So the first question is why we are actually doing this and why we feel that we are so important that people should listen to us. I'm going to let you answer that one.
I mean,
This was your idea.
Yeah. Well, like I said at the start, we think that we have quite good conversations about this sort of stuff. Probably not, but I think the majority of people would agree.
We can talk
About this sort of stuff. So, I mean, we've been doing it for, we've been doing the hobby for 20 something years now. Yeah. It's ingrained in us, and we like to be on camera and show off.
Yeah. And
not in a weird way.
No,
we like
the last job we had.
No.
I think for me I feel, this is going to get really teary-eyed and cheesy, but I feel a lot of passion about Warhammer and the hobby, and just being able to share that a little bit is nice. I know it's cheesy, but it is,
No, I feel it. I get it.
You know what I mean? It's a little bit teary-eyed.
Completely. I agree.
Cool.
I agree.
So that is why we're doing it. So let's go through the structure of the show then. So we'll start off with what we've been doing in relation to the hobby each time. So what we've been painting.
Yeah.
What we've built, what we've bought, what we've listened to, what we've read, anything related to.
Yeah.
I mean, is buying things technically hobby progress?
It's a hobby.
I'd say so.
But I mean, we can if there's certain, because we're not going to buy everything that's new that comes out. But if new things come out that happen to be part of our armies and stuff, we'll buy them.
Yeah.
And we could always wait to open it, do a little unboxing thing, something like that.
Particularly with the books.
Yeah, and go through some of the cool bits that we like that are in the in that.
So then we'll talk about any games we've played.
Mm-hmm.
External to the narrative campaign, because that'll have its own separate section. But if we haven't played games against anybody else, or we'll still play.
To be honest with you, it would just be nice to have a game.
It has been.
We still haven't had any sort of.
Obviously, at the minute we're coming towards. Well, we've come out of sort of lockdown period of COVID, but we're still. I don't have a desire to go to a game store and wear a mask while playing Warhammer. No, so we're going to try and do it at your table at some point.
Yeah, but, I mean, now that the table size, the recommended table size has actually shrunk, we can get it on the table quite comfortably. Yeah. It's just having a nice bit of terrain painted up. We never really bothered with. But
we're from Nottingham, so our entire lives we've had Warhammer World.
Very, very
20 minutes away.
Very lucky to be so close.
So we've never really needed at home table.
When your local gaming store
is
Warhammer the Mecca,
then
it
cuts down on your terrain that you have at home.
So
we'll talk about games played. We will then commit to what we're going to do in the next 2 weeks, because we're going to try and do an episode every 2 weeks.
Yes.
So we'll commit to I'm going to build and paint
XYZ.
Yeah. And it will be an on-camera
pledge
to
me, yourself.
And the one people. Person watching.
I say people. You.
And you at home.
Just you.
We'll make a full pledge. And the possibly foolish decision we had was we started with the Wheel of Doom, but I decided to call it the Doom Wheel.
I've seen the note on this.
It's a scaling thing.
Paper thing.
The Doom Wheel.
Oh, is that? Oh, there you go.
Which is, I'm going to bring it into shop. Play some really... No, the music needs to be darker. This is the Wheel of Doom. So if you're listening to the audio version, it's a Wheel of Fortune-esque spinning wheel with a really satisfying clicking noise when you spin it.
Yeah.
On this board will be a series of forfeits.
Yes.
/ things you have to do. So it might be something like you have to paint one model with your left hand.
It's alright if you're left-handed.
You have to paint one. Are you left-handed?
No.
Well, I'm not left-handed, so that's fine.
There you go. That's
so paint one model with your left hand.
Okay.
Or we had this idea for the Tower. I'll let you explain the Tower of Shame.
The Tower of Shame. Now, there's nothing wrong with Tau.
pulls a face. But
However,
we don't like Tau.
no.
We were hurt by Tau in
I think
6th edition.
Yes, it's more being crushed by Tau and not knowing how to overcome Tau.
Until recently.
That the hatred is quite deep. And there was a brief moment, a flash of incredibleness of Overwatch. It's going to hurt them.
Yeah, and they can do it anyway.
And then they can do it anyway. So we thought of doing, we'd have a tally, yours and mine, depending if you land on this. Obviously, we'll do a few of these. But you have to paint a full model, Tau model, from scratch, built, prime, paint.
To a battle-ready standard.
To a battle-ready standard in that time.
And we'll slowly build up an army.
And then we will become the demon that we sought
to destroy. And what we'd like as well, if people can suggest forfeits.
Yes.
We'll have to
be kind.
But we don't want to shave anything.
No. Hobby related, if
possible. I don't mind eating a hot sauce.
Hobby related.
I'm happy to
if possible.
Eat a hot sauce or.
Okay.
But I don't want to shave anything, and I don't want to destroy any of my existing models.
Okay.
Just dip your models in paint stripper, for example.
I was just going to say.
It's also a very poor punishment for not painting your models, is to undo.
Yeah, it's quite
the models that you have painted.
Yeah.
So we'll come up with more.
But yeah, we will. If you've got any suggestions and you do watch this, put them in the comments.
And hopefully that'll hold us to some sort of, structure. The trick is to under-promise.
Oh,
I will
every time.
Half a model.
Every time. A foot.
Then we will do an update to the narrative campaign. So hopefully we fitted in at least one game in the 2 weeks. So there'll be a page of fluff, narrative, background surrounding the game that's just happened and what we're about to go into. And that'll set us up for the game, which we'll play in between the 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Then we're going to do Instagram pics. So me and you very much enjoy Instagram for hobby.
Inspiration.
I always thought Instagram was where people put pictures of food.
We've taken over.
Yeah, but I feel like it is a bastion of well-painted models.
It's some great inspiration, great.
It's a good. I don't know about you, but when I post a model, I'm a bit thinking about like, is this good, or have I just been painting it so long that I can't see colour anymore? And then when you upload it and the likes start coming in, you get comments.
It's an instant gratification.
Yeah, you feel. Because we've got a gaming group of 4 or 5. We can show each. To be fair, we're the only 2 really that take the painting side of it. Seriously. So it's nice to have. Other people that you can.
Someone other than me and you say yes, it looks nice, Sam.
Yeah. And normally we go, no, that looks crap.
Yeah.
So we're going to do Instagram pics. So we're going to pick a post, 2 posts.
Yeah.
However many posts.
Something that we see during the week and
that we've enjoyed. So that might be a really well painted model. It might be a really cool conversion. It might even be just a post on something vaguely hobby related. A tutorial that we think is really good.
Yeah.
And I'm on Instagram too much anyway.
90% of the day.
90% of my day spent on Instagram, so I should hopefully find some things. And we are going to try and steer away from the Darren Lathams, the Angel Heraldez, because you don't need us to point you in their direction.
He can paint.
Yeah, we all know Darren Latham's really good.
He's good.
He really doesn't need us shouting him out. We'll then have a topic, so that'll be the bulk of the episode. I know topic's it's not very specific.
Vague.
It's a bit vague, but it will probably
we could. I mean, if there's a topic you want us to talk about,
send it in.
Do the hobby, we could make an episode of that topic if it's any good.
So it might be things like our favourite characters in the lore.
Yeah.
It might be things about what we think about X, Y, Z.
Favourite army, favourite models, favourite
stuff like that. Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Things you'd like to see in the future.
Yeah.
Stuff like hopefully something that generates a little bit of conversation, a little bit of controversy.
That's what I like.
Let's be controversial.
Yeah, that's really good for it.
Yeah. We're not even doing Warhammer anymore. Doing more War Machine. And then we'll talk about news, interesting releases. I don't want to commit too much time for that because you don't need to come to us to get.
There's a plethora of
folk.
Do they just do? I mean, you
That's a
could
good
get
word, wasn't
a plethora.
That's a good word. No, was it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's lots of people that have.
That's what that means.
Yeah. There's lots of people that do that.
Yeah, you can just go on Warhammer community
And
website.
the community site is very good.
Every website's always
Yeah.
40 minutes behind the community website while they quickly copy and paste all the information onto their current website.
Yeah.
So, but we'll talk about,
New releases.
what we think about the new Space Marine tank that's coming out every month or so. We can talk about that and how many floating Primaris tanks is too many. That might be a good topic.
Never enough.
Never enough. So yeah, that will be the structure going forward. Hopefully it will be slightly more structured than this show was.
Well, I think this is just we're getting comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said before, we've already filmed this one and realised we'd filmed it completely incorrectly.
The second time's going a lot better.
Yes, I think this is flowing better. I think
Which is probably testament to how bad the first one was.
terrible,
People are
terrible.
listening going, this is the better version.
This is still quite poor. As we go along and as we do these more, though, we'll get
better.
more comfortable, and it will we'll have a bit more, with a bit more input from you guys, and we're talking about what you want to hear and what you want to know.
Push us in the direction you'd like to take us in.
Yeah.
Related to Warhammer, hopefully.
Clear.
So let's take a quick break. So I need to refill my drink.
Okay.
And when we come back, I've just picked two little subjects that hopefully give everyone a bit of a flavour, more of a flavour about us as gamers and as people.
Okay.
Not controversial topics.
Okay.
And so we'll be talking about people in the hobby that we find inspirational.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And
Yeah.
you can include your Darren Lathams in that if you want.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about future hobby goals. No holds barred. Unlimited money.
No.
Unlimited time.
Okay.
No partners. Job.
Lots of towel.
I'm quitting. So we're back with the final part. Okay, so we're back with part 3, and we're going to talk briefly about future hobby goals, things we want to do, games we want to play that aren't Warhammer. I'll let you go first.
So, my current plans with my armies, my Voidhawks and my Death Guard are my main 10.
That you're going to be your focus.
So I need to get the Voidhawks, some other stuff done for this narrative campaign. I've got some, I think, pretty cool ideas in the pipeline for some characters and some bits and bobs to tie in with our little bit of lore that we've put into the 40k. Death Guard wise, I mean, it's just plod along. I've got a lot of Death Guard. A lot of it's painted, but a lot of it I want to update because at the start of 8th, I was an alright painter. Now I've improved slightly.
Yeah.
I just want to revisit some of those pieces like everybody does. And I mean, you've revisited stuff and done loads, haven't you? And update some of that older stuff.
Okay.
So, apart from that, I mean, I have so much plastic in storage. I can start with lots of stuff, but my main things at the minute are going to be
to push them.
pushing them.
What about other games at start? It could be Games Workshop games, to be fair, but
So I'll be honest with you, when lockdown hit, I wasn't hoarding toilet paper. I was hoarding Shadespire.
Oh right, okay.
I bought about 5 wall bands or something, just at like a bit of a panic. I was like, I wanted something to do during that
Get
time.
hold of plastic anymore.
Which was in hindsight not needed. But I got about 4 or 5 wall bands. So I've built them.
Obviously.
I need to put some paint to the brush.
Okay. Brilliant.
But that's for my other sort of things. That's what about you.
So I'm in an awkward spot with the Dark Eldar and Thousand Suns in that. So Thousand Suns started at the start of 8th, and like I say, got better at painting after a few painting lessons, and particularly getting an airbrush.
Oh yes, yeah.
Was a huge change. So
big time.
basically, I'm in the process of repainting all my Thousand Suns and repainting all my Dark Eldar that I've done up to now. So that is a little annoying.
Yes.
But I'm not like some people say you shouldn't strip models and repaint them because you can see yourself improve. I'm not about that.
I want to scorn that.
I want to cull the past and pretend it never happened. I want my army to look consistent.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to put on the table. So I need to go back. I've changed to it. So my thousands used to be done using a Duncan tutorial, which is perfectly fine. But now I've got the airbrush.
Chuck it up a level on.
When I've got the airbrush, I can get the blue and half transition on the blue.
Yeah.
Do all the gold trim.
Yeah.
The scale 75 paints for the gold are just beautiful on another level in terms of how it looks.
Yeah.
So doing them, the Dark Eldar, it's a little bit my fault. I went in with the green, which you'll see on my Instagram, the green Dark Eldar.
Which did look really good though. It was really good.
It was alright, but I was never happy with it. And I knew I was never happy with it. And I just carried on with it.
Yeah.
And I should have admitted to myself that I didn't like it.
Yeah, I've done that a few times and stuff.
And not done 6 Venoms, a Raider, 10 Witches, 5 Incubi.
Yeah. Before
Realising I don't really like it. It's not, I don't dislike the green, it's not worked the way I want it to. And so I've done a new scheme now for the Cabal and the Witch Call, which is a lot better, I think. And I've got better with the airbrush as well. The Venom and stuff were done, the first stuff I did with an airbrush, and it's a bit grainy and it's not exactly how I would like it to be. So a lot of it's going to repainting them and trying to build up an army at the same time. Yeah. So I've got a lot to do.
A lot on.
Yeah. It's not, it's got an airbrush, you speed things up a bit.
If only we'd have had sort of like a large amount of free spare time that we could have done all this in, recently.
Yeah.
But
no,
I didn't get much done.
No,
I'll be honest with you.
No, me neither. I'm pretty quick at painting generally.
Yeah. You're good at sticking to it.
I stick to a project.
Yeah.
And I'll get it done. So hopefully I'll get through that. In terms of future projects, I'm going to do a Chaos Army for Thousands Death Guard, World Eaters, and Emperor's Children. That's going to happen.
Yeah. With all Primarchs.
When the Primarchs come, because they are definitely coming, even if it's 5 or 10 years from now, Games Workshop are not going to
not do it.
You might as well print money because it's
people will buy.
So I will do them and heavily theme each one and run it as a. I know they don't tend to fight together actually because they all hate each other, but I just like that.
It's
and a themed night for each one.
Cool. It'd be good to do a big game with all.
And demons in there as well. Some demons in there.
That'd be cool.
That's like a dream project if you like. Dark Eldar I'm happy to just tick away with,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grow the AdMech, get a knight for them.
Yeah.
Because you've got to have a knight, haven't you?
Always.
But the armies I have at the minute, I'm quite happy with. I've not got a massive desire to take on a new army.
Yeah.
I've been looking at Custodes, I'm not gonna lie. But we'll talk about that another time. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that.
You've changed.
Why have I changed? What's wrong with Custodes?
There's nothing wrong with them, but you never really liked them before.
I tell you what it was War of the Spider. I read that and I was like, that's the dog.
That's my dog.
It's not
making a bit of a noise.
So yeah, they're my dream products. The AdMech as well, I'm really enjoying painting the AdMechs. I want to build them.
Yeah.
I want to make them into a real shooty death.
Yeah.
From afar. I've never really had the Tyrannies were all really close combat.
Shooty.
I've seen the Dark Eldar quite close combat. Thousands are quite shooty, I suppose, but you tend to spend most of the time in the psychic phase actually.
Sort of mid-range.
Psychic. I want to do a really long range.
Yeah.
Tau-esque.
Yeah.
Style army. I have to slag them off for an hour.
You've changed.
Different games you'd like to try, or I'd like to try. This could go on for a long time.
There's a lot of stuff. I mean, my dog really doesn't like being over there. Shakespeare.
We don't need to get into that more. We've dabbled.
We've got an awful lot of warbands and bits and stuff, and that is the games we have played. It is a very good game.
Yeah.
I'd really like to try the Aero Autonautica game. Imperialis, because I think that is a quality looking game. I like the idea of it.
Yeah. I'm happy to go. I would like to do that, but I want them to do like a Dark Eldar.
Oh, I want them to do some more. Yeah, they need to
Yeah.
do some more. If they bring out a few more expansions to this Dark Eldar, this Eldar in general, and some
That'd be
Space
cool.
Marine
Yeah,
flyers
that'd
and
be
stuff
cool.
like that, that'd be cool. I mean, Storm Ravens or something going around would be. Although I think some of the stuff bigger into it, the Marauders for the Imperial Guard, I think they're quite big.
Right.
You can get a Marauder.
You can have
the
Space Marines must have some sort
They're
of...
going to have some equivalent, but like cruiser or something. Yeah.
I'd really like to do Necromunda.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the campaign system with that.
Yeah.
Looks really in
Does
depth.
look really cool. Does look
And
cool.
I think you're doing that and Warcry as well. Right? If James Workshop make it, I kind of want to play it.
Yeah.
There hasn't been one they've done that I thought, no.
No, Dreadfleet, that.
Oh, well, that's not even a thing, is it?
But apart from that, I'd like to do Blood Bowl. I would like to try doing Blood Bowl.
I played the Blood Bowl computer game and it just feels a little bit... I think Guild Ball...
Guild Ball.
Which I know is not Games Workshop.
That was good. We
I
did
really
have a
liked
few
it.
games of that.
Yeah.
You got a starter box.
I got starter box for 25 quid actually.
Yeah.
What'll happen is we'll go to UK Games Expo next year.
Spend an awful lot.
Spend an awful lot of money on games that
we'll never play.
we'll never play. But
We'll feel better,
We'll feel better,
in ourselves
yeah.
for doing it.
I want to do, a big one for me is I want to do a fantasy based game that is like unit squares with
Old
old
Warhammer.
Warhammer style outflanking.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is going to be a bit more fun, lining up cavalry charges and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and outflanking units. There's a really good one that we saw at Games Expo last year, the Conquest.
Is it Conquest? Yeah.
Conquest, the last argument of kings.
Yeah.
And they've just released actually some starter sets for each individual army.
Right.
And they're only like 35 quid.
Yeah, they do look cool.
So I'd like to give that a go.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I'm not going to say too much because I could literally list
Hundreds.
hundreds of games I'd like to
We'll
play.
never get. I mean, nobody will ever get around to half the games that you
No.
probably want to play.
And
And it's you just got to
Yeah.
go for it.
And there was a time I sort of had a word with myself and said, you cannot play everything.
No,
So don't
no,
even try because
no.
you're just not going to enjoy your other games as much.
That's
You're
it.
splitting your attention. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do our hobby commitment for the next episode.
Okay.
What are you going to paint in the next 2 weeks? And if you don't paint it, you have to spin on the doom wheel. Serious commitment now.
The next 2 weeks. Right. Well, I'm doing my Death Guard at the minute.
Okay.
So I am going to pledge to paint my
One nerdling.
my Lord of Contagion.
Ooh.
Fully.
Wait, which one's the Lord of Contagion?
Big guy axe.
Okay, yeah. Big.
That guy.
That sounds like Death Guard.
That's the one.
Yeah, I thought it was painted.
No. My conversion that was I used for Typhus.
Oh, right, okay.
That's the same. The
Same
same
model,
one.
yeah.
But I'm doing a Lord of Contagion
An actual Lord of
character
Contagion.
that I'm going to name.
Is that something to do with the stratagems for him that came in the
Yes,
latest
it is.
book?
Yes,
I thought
yes.
it might.
Yeah, no shame. Yes, it is.
It's cool.
And the ferrymen have a cool scythe weapon.
Yeah, they do, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
So, no shame. But
Cool.
yes, that is my pledge. One Lord of Contagion, fully painted, on the table. Good night.
And you'll put time into that. You'll make him up.
I probably will get like his head done.
Yeah,
But
you do
yes,
tend to
I will.
focus in on minute lens.
Yes, I do like painting a face. About you, what is your pledge for this week?
I feel like I'm going to outdo you a little bit here. And it might be risky. I'm going to go in hard. As you always should in life.
Always full ball.
Full ball. I'm going to commit to 6 jet bikes, Dark Elf jet bikes, but I'm going to caveat that by saying not necessarily the riders themselves, but the actual jet bikes.
I think you're
Are you going
letting the
to
side.
talk to me? You've pledged 1 Lord of Contagion.
1 Lord of Contagion, 6 Dark Eldar jet bikes. It's not even a fair fight.
Let me explain why I've said not the riders. The colours for the Witch Cult is like a purple as the main colour and the off colour is a blue, which balances it.
Yeah.
It works well on the Venoms because I can do the windscreen. That's an
Window, shield,
wind
screen.
in the blue.
Yeah.
And the gems, and it adds a bit of a spot colour, so it doesn't. The jet bikes don't have anywhere for the blue to go,
Right.
so I need to see how they look, and then I'll decide how much blue goes on the riders.
Okay. So what you're doing is you're saying you're going to complete these models, except you're not going to complete these models in the same sentence.
I will paint 6 jet bikes, including riders.
Thank
You've
you.
done it.
Thank you.
And when I have to spin the wheel next time,
It's only fair if you paint. If this competition is going to have any credibility in this community, we need to.
okay,
Strict
fine.
rules.
Okay, 6 jet bikes,
6
fully
jet bikes.
painted, with painted green stems
Perfect. It's how it should have been.
on. Yeah.
You look at
What are
small
the jet
white
bikes
dwarfs.
score?
Reavers.
Reavers.
Yes.
6 Reavers with riders done in 2 weeks' time.
Signed.
Excellent. So the next episode will be 2 weeks from now when we'll laugh at my failure, and I'll be spinning on the wheel, I would imagine. So if you like the episode, please leave a comment. If you didn't like the episode, please even more leave a comment and tell us why you didn't like it. As long as that reason is not, I just don't really like the two of you.
Yeah,
There's not a lot we can do about it.
No, that's. I mean, it's a fair comment, but at the same time,
You're already thinking it. Just. But yeah, what do you think we could do better? What do you think went well? And let us know below. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time.